Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about the upcoming potential for a snowstorm. Now the models have been actually pretty consistent showing the snowstorm. Obviously the differences are there, and the European shows a little bit further to the south, the GFS shows a little bit further to the north. Which one's right at this point, a little bit too far out to tell, but we will be definitely taking a look at this and just trying to figure this out in this video. So if you like the weather, I do weather related content. If you're a consistent viewer, please consider liking this video. It really helps out this video and this channel. Also share this video with your family and friends. It really means a lot. And consider subscribing for those of you that are new. Check out the channel and see for yourself whether it's worthy of a subscription. Let's look at the GFS model. So the GFS model starts out at hour 6, and notice that we are looking at a small system across Iowa. These will continue. There will be 3 of them actually coming across the northern plains here. And northern Midwest, so Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa, and maybe northern Illinois, mainly those 3 states, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and and Michigan, could see a little bit of, I would say, 3 to 5 inches over the next couple of days out of these couple of systems. You can see there's a pretty large one right there. Then we move forward. Again, notice we see another system right here on Tuesday, a little bit further to the north, a little bit rain on the downside and backside of it, but that is really nothing major. You can see it's especially snowy across Thunder Bay area in Michigan, or in Canada, sorry, north of the Lake Superior. Notice then we see a third one coming through. Again, it seems like Minnesota, upper Wisconsin, and UP of Michigan could see the heaviest out of these snowfalls, as there will be 3 of them, each of them minor, but they could add up to maybe a quick 6 inches or so. You're gonna notice that this is where we start seeing this large system. So it comes off into the Pacific Northwest, very, very well defined, 982 millibars. Strong. It could actually deliver a little bit of snow for Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, those locations. That kind of gives enough energy for a system that was already kind of starting to organize itself across the Rockies to really take hold. And notice it just blossoms. The precipitation really just explodes over the U.S. This would be Friday. A lot of freezing rain, a lot of sleet possibly with this system. Again, track is uncertain at this point. Notice though, it seems at this point heaviest amounts would be Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota, a little bit of further north than the previous system, though the European still shows heavier snow for northern Illinois and Indiana, so we'll see. But overall, a pretty intense storm, and it really intensifies once it moves into the northeast. Upper New England, upper northeast, I know you have been complaining about the lack of snow. Well, if this one were to come true, could just be an absolute bomb. I mean, seriously, loads of snow, up to 20 inches in some locations out of the system, if it were to hold true. Which, at this point, the chances are pretty high for that, for it to hold true. With the storm actually occurring, the track may shift lightly, but it seems like there's enough cold air for the northeast to see the snow, especially the upper northeast. But in terms of the Midwest, right here, that's the more uncertain area I would actually say. So that passes through, and then we could see another system. You could see traveling to the south, but let's just focus on this system. Let's look at the total snowfall accumulations. Before we do that, let's just look at the 3 smaller events and see what they have to bring. You could see possibly some areas up to 5-6 inches, generally a 1 to 4 inch event, several events if you will. Notice though, parts of Washington, including Seattle, might get a little bit of snow out of this system because it's not too powerful where it comes and brings in too much moisture, but there's plenty of cold air, so that snow is allowed to fall in those lower elevations. We'll have to monitor that. Notice though, it really explodes across these locations and delivers quite a bit of snow. Pretty impressive. You can see up to a foot combined with the other snow coming in, and then the northeast, you can see again 1.5 feet to even more inches of snow. And this seems to be favoring some locations like Boston, Massachusetts, getting some snow, and some of the coastal areas. But it's a pretty widespread storm. I wouldn't say it's a huge wind maker. As big as this last one. The severe weather doesn't seem as large either, thank goodness. But it's still potentially powerful. You can see it's on the nose of a trough, which brings in chillier air, and that sets the stage for possibly more storms. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on for that and monitor that system as that system plays out in the future in a long range. So let's look at the Canadian model now. I showed you the GFS. Let's look at the Canadian model. Again, it's good that they're agreeing on this. You can see it digs out a really nice low pressure out of the Rockies. Lots of moisture available, blossoming precip across Minnesota, Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, Michigan. And really, it brings quite a bit of rain to the Ohio Valley and the Mississippi Valley. Upper Mississippi Valley will see snow, but the lower Mississippi Valley, like the Missouri, Illinois, bordering, and Tennessee, Arkansas, all the way down here, we'll see mainly rain. I don't think the rain looks as impressive as it did with the previous system, but it's still there, and with the grounds already being oversaturated, it doesn't take a lot of rain to bring it into that flooding criteria. It still definitely has a lot of moisture with it, though. You can see it moves off and delivers quite a bit of snow for the Northeast as well. Not as much as what the GFS showed, however, so that would be a little bit of a worse scenario for the Northeast. Still, though, the CMC Canadian puts out quite a bit of snow, even more than the GFS with a weaker storm, which is probably to do with an error in the actual snow amount graphic. I don't think, based on the storm that the Canadian put out, if that were to occur, there would be this much snow. I don't think so. It would have to be more of a GFS-like scenario in order for there to be this much snow. Let's look at the European model. The European model, you can see it's basically the same track all throughout. And I was going to show you the surface and precip, but I just decided to show you the total snowfall accumulations. Notice that it takes a little bit further to the south, even into central Illinois. It takes out all the way up to 1 inch. Iowa most of Iowa would see 1, starting at the very southern Iowa to about 7 towards the north, and then generally no like enormous amount of snow anywhere. Okay, it seems out of this system in the Midwest, its beginning phases, but very widespread, and I guess that's more impactful. Very widespread, around almost a foot in some locations. And then we move into these locations again, we see a little bit increase across the Northeast, so that could be pretty interesting and fun to look at. New York, 1 to 2 inches at this point, given the track is right from the European model. Let's look at the Northwest quickly. Look what the European does for cities like Seattle and Portland. Typically, they don't see snow, or they don't see a lot of snow, but out of this storm, they could see up to 2 inches right here across Seattle. So that's pretty impressive. And if you go further, go out to the west, or to the east, sorry, towards, what is this, Sammamish, yeah. You can see up to 4 inches, and then once again to upper elevations, quite a bit of snow out of that, obviously. Let's go move down to Portland. You could see that, where is Portland? There it is. So we have Portland possibly seeing a little bit even more, maybe up to 3-4 inches. Salem, Oregon, or Salem, seeing up to 3 inches of snow as well. So yeah, it seems like you could actually get your whole season's worth of snow in one system. I'm pretty sure that the average for Seattle and Portland is around that 5-inch mark, maybe a little bit less. I think it's a little bit less. So you could definitely get that out of the system, so that's definitely something to watch. And a lot of snow for the mountains, which is really good news, as they really, they've been really, I guess, drought-stricken for a long period of time. It has, I'd say, it's gone away for the past couple of years. But it's good to know that I won't really be coming back with such a huge snowpack in place for the Sierra Nevadas. It's a pretty large snowpack, as far as I'm pretty sure. Based on, I'm not sure the exact snowpack, but based on the pattern of even having this winter, there's just been snow event after snow event. So I would be surprised if there wasn't a big snowpack. Notice the mountain snow as well, pretty significant. Not record breaking, but it's there enough to make the ski resorts happy. But again, a pretty large event over here. Look how widespread it is. It's just the expanse of the system that would be really impressive. You're not really the I guess snow amounts in one particular area. You could see rainfall, not really impressive, up to 1/2 inch. Some higher locations, more isolated, where a thunderstorm could occur or two, or they could lead to training up to 2 inches. In the southern U.S., we see up to 4 across some locations, which probably might occur. I mean, that's a characteristic of some thunderstorms. But again, it's winter. Thunderstorms aren't as prevalent as they are in the summer. So it's most likely that it will be a generally 1/2 inch, 2 inch of rain out of this system. Nothing compared to the other system, which was 3 to 4 inches. And it was just an absolute monster of a storm. That storm was, again, I posted a post about it on my YouTube channel. If you go to the discussion tab, I talked about it and why it was a really interesting storm. Let's look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, or 6 to 10 day outlook, for a matter of fact. 18 through the 22nd. Notice chillier across the U.S., a little bit warmer across the southern U.S. This could lead to a little bit more snow, especially since it's above average precipitation. If we were to look at the 8 to 14 day outlook now, we would notice that the chill continues, especially across the south and east, in the northwest as well. So again, with precipitation being a little bit drier this time, it would maybe be a little bit less snow. But again, just because it's dry precipitation doesn't mean there won't be any snow. There could be an Alberta clipper or two still delivering snow, and that technically could be a below average. I mean, I'm telling you, most of these locations don't want to see any more rain, ideally for the rest of January, because out of this storm we've seen, in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, some locations have seen their whole month of January rainfall in a day or two. There's reports of 4 to 5 inches. Usually these locations don't average more than 2 to 3. So really more rain wouldn't be welcome. So maybe that could be a little bit of a relief. Let's look at a 3 to 4 week outlook, which gets released on Friday. I didn't show you last time. It's Sunday. I felt like if it's still close enough, you could see 25th of January through the 7th of February. Still chilly across the general portion of northern U.S. and into southern U.S. Winter making a comeback, a little bit above average across the southeast and into the into the northern U.S. Northern plains, if you will, but then a little bit below average again for the Midwest. But whether or not that will come true, we'll have to see. Precipitation outlooks are really hard to predict. So let alone one storm, as you remember from this storm. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.